But thanks for watching and tune in again.
I'm so happy that Duran and Joseph brought up culture because it's so important to understand that the black culture is a thing to where, like, my biggest issue this weekend with, I guess you could say, social media is that they were conflating his racial makeup with like his upbringing. When people are saying that Drake is, he's not a part of the culture or he's culturally appropriating, it's sort of like you're looking at this person and you're from all that we know, we don't know it all, but from the things that we do know about his upbringing, it doesn't align with being a part of black culture. Now you're a talented artist, you rap really well, but when it comes to the things that you say, as Kendrick laid out, it really seems as if you've kind of just been trotting along, picking up bits and pieces of black culture to align yourself with, to validate you a little bit. So when people are saying that, Drake shouldn't be a part, when people are utilizing him being biracial and saying that he's not black enough and thinking about his racial makeup, when I think that the people who are saying this, who actually mean his cultural appropriation of the black culture. He doesn't speak on black issues when things are coming up. There's nothing conscious about his blackness. It's like he dips and dabs in and out, when it benefits, when being black is beneficial. So yeah, that's how I see it.
I got a question, Bobby. Does that invalidate his blackness though, if he doesn't speak up on issues?
I don't think as far as his racial makeup, it doesn't. No, he had an interview where he fully claims black. Like, listen, I see myself as a black man, and I agree, he is a black man, absolutely. But when we're talking about, are you a part of the black culture? That's a different conversation. I don't think that he's as much a part of the black culture as equally as he is claiming it and adopting being a black man. His father's black, sure, you're black. I'm down with that, because listen, you got one drop in you. If you say you're black and you got one drop, I'm gonna accept that. I'm never gonna say nobody's not black, but do you have black culture in you? Do you understand black American culture? Do you understand the nuances of, like Gary said, the food that you eat, the readings, the experiences out in these streets? Do you have that? You can't.
Wait. Well, hold on. So okay, I'll say this. So, my only, I guess, question to that is, and I said this before, I said this yesterday, is that someone like Drake, and any person, any black person, anybody, like you're saying, he's black, right? At Absolutely. Any moment, a black person has the opportunity or ability to connect with their culture and learn and understand it. Because the Drake that we're talking about, because you got to remember, the Drake that we're talking about is a 17, 18, and 19-year-old Drake. The Drake of the last 15 years is a guy that's been able to live and exist and connect with his culture. So the fact that he spent, as much time being, and probably more
Sorry,
time,
y'all, I'm outside walking.
Actually being fully evolved and understanding, immersed in black culture. He's been more immersed in black culture as a black man than he was with his mom in Canada, because if you count the first 4 or 5 years of a kid's life, they're learning words, they're understanding, and they're picking up things. But the cultural differences or the nuances that come into play is when you get around 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. So right. Drake is still like 30-something years old. So my point is, he's been at this and understanding. He spent time with his father. He spent time with his father.
I'm gonna say this real quick. Yes, that's valid, but he reveals himself in moments. For example, when one of the Kendrick records come out and he puts up a 10 things I hate about you picture in his stories. Like, that's your cultural reference to in the middle of this battle? Some fucking white woman in a movie from the 90s that most of your fan base don't know? Then another example, the screenshot of the text message with his mom and saying that Rick Ross is racist. Like there are moments that just shows in black culture, these are not things that black people, quote unquote black people, would do. So that's where these things come to question for me, because it's like your cultural references aren't even black, bro. Yeah,
No,
you're black.
I don't know about, because first of all, I used to love 10 Things I Hate About You. I'm very familiar with the movie.
I seen it. I seen that movie.
I seen that movie, and I felt it was appropriate for even the way he says, "I hate the way you rhyme." Like, it even makes me rhyme. Like, I think Drake is smarter. I don't think that had anything to do with his cultural reference to whiteness. He probably just said, like, because I use memes that in sometimes in black context that are white people in memes. You know what I'm saying?
That's not the point, but I think his generation, his actual fan base would not know what this reference is.
For sure.
Why do you think that though?
Because his demographic is like 13 to 17-year-old people who haven't seen movies from freaking 2000.
That's not his demographic. Drake's been rapping for 15 years. So even if Drake has been rapping for 15 years, if we take Drake back to a rapper in his 20s, he's still gonna get 20 years up. He's still gonna get 40-year-olds. There were 40-years listening to Drake when he was 20.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, so I think Drake's fan base it extends 20 years up and 20 years younger, 20 years older and 20 years younger than him. Yeah. Right? I think that's what it is. It's like, I mean, I like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't listening to like Ashford and Simpson when I was a kid. Of course I was, like 9. Like, I'm not their age. They in their 30s and 40s. Like, I identify with those people. Like, shit. I don't, you know, in the cultural references to things that Richard Pryor and shit that was way ahead of my time, and I didn't understand, or you know, I think that's a bit of a stretch, but it's cool but we respect the opinion.
Yeah, let me jump in here. Thank you for that, Bobby. Yeah, with regard to your original last question, Bobby, I think with regards to the way Drake interacts with his, you know, blackness, et cetera, I think hip hop gave him that. That's what Isaac is saying. Like, he got to brush up against all his blackness and learn about his black references. Hip hop gave him that. Hip hop gifted him with that. So,
I do agree with.
Yeah, so let's just let it sit there. So we got like 9 minutes.
9 minutes, yeah.
But I just wanted to give you that. Like, yeah, hip hop gave him those cultural references and all that shit. So,
like, well, and I'll throw this in there. When we get to the next person. I'll throw this in there. So my point is, Drake has spent his entire life immersed in white culture, being biracial, and come down to Atlanta, like I say, to hit Magic City and see the fattest ass he ever saw and have some lemon pepper wet. And from that day forward, he's like, "Oh, I'm into this shit." Because I get it. I get it. I like it. Like, it's cool. Like, okay, this is something different. I didn't know this, and this is part of who I am. And or it could be anything. It could be Malcolm X. It could be Marcus Garvey. It could be whoever it is. And I think that doesn't matter. So I mean, any black person has the right to discover and identify with their culture at any moment they want to, before their success, after their success. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. I'm always trying to understand, like, who's making these rules.
It happens every day, Third, because there's a lot of black people that don't really understand the historicity of what it means to actually be black. You know how many people I meet that's 37 like me and say, "Man, I didn't even know that about the Nation of Islam. I didn't even know that about the Black Panthers." And they are I'll say this because I know people want to hear it, as nigga as you want them to be. But they still don't have that information about what it truly means to be black. So that's equivocated with Drake learning about his blackness. I literally meet people my age. They can't name to you 17 black people that own patents. Like, literally. So it could be the same thing. But Drake is black because his daddy and his uncle is black. Trust me. His pappy is black. From Memphis.
I texted Dennis over the weekend. I was texting Dennis in the middle of this shit.
Yeah, I was too. I was talking to Dennis yesterday. I was like, "What's going on, Unc?" I was like, "Is this real, Unc?" I had to ask him. I'm like, "Unc, it's real?" He's like, "Oh, it's real, nephew." I was like, "Okay, I'll call you back."
Tam. Good morning, Tam. Welcome back.
Good morning, everyone.
What would you like to add to the conversation?
Just further encouraging people to understand the difference between biology and parenting and culture. Just having a one drop, that's an old slave mentality of one drop. I mean, yeah, okay, so his father's black. That doesn't automatically make him black. It comes down truly to culture.
Yeah, and my thing is, hip hop gave him culture. Hip hop gave it to him. He gave it to him.
They did. Here's the deal. Let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop gave him culture at a big age.
Yeah.
When he came to embrace it. Does that make him authentically what we would consider ourselves black? And I don't know if anyone saw in the chat, but I put earlier, the true question to me would be, and when I say black, I shouldn't say, he's definitely African American.
Right. So we got to define black first.
But you do have to define not only black first, but then to me, what is the definition of black to Canadians, right? So black people in Canada, has he ever embraced their culture first? Because you're talking about hip hop giving him the culture, but that's part of African American culture. Let's look at, and this would come down to who's in Canada and who's black in Canada. What's specifically their culture as a black Canadian, and was he raised in that culture?
Well,
so to me, we can't really answer that question. It would come down for those in that country to answer.
Yeah, but my statement to that is, my statement to that is that for the first, and I said this yesterday, for kindergarten, first and second grade, I went to private school here in Atlanta, Georgia. I was a private school kid that went to Suzuki International Learning Center in Atlanta, Georgia, if anybody knows that.
You gave them something else to come at you about. Man, you went to private school, man. You're not black.
No.
You read books. You're not black.
No, I know, but and there were only maybe two other black kids in my entire class, but my other friends were Jewish, Japanese, from Australia. They were white. It was a bunch. It was really like the we are the world of young kids. You know what I'm saying? Just like, all right, we all together chilling or whatever, right? But my dad, my mom and my dad got divorced
that way,
and then my dad wanted me to go to public school. And he wanted me to go to school around other black kids to have a black experience in a black city like Atlanta. And I think and I'm so glad that they decided that, because I learned a lot. Because I learned that even being a black man or a young black boy who was the child of a famous person, that sometimes I wasn't even considered black. My blackness was brought into question just based off the fact that I had money, right? Growing up early. Now, remember, my dad filed for bankruptcy before I was born. But I'm saying that even when we got to Atlanta, it's not like we really hit hard times until my parents got divorced. And then that's when times got really, really hard. But my blackness has always been brought into question because of the perceived economic, my economic status. So again, I think when I listen to these conversations and understand these conversations from the perspective of that people's blackness is often brought into question by whether it's hardship or struggle. And then when we bring that into question, so do we ever want to leave the struggle? So is it possible to be black and not poor and uneducated and fighting for your life and ducking bullets, and you know what I mean? Is it when is it what is that? You know what I'm saying?
Why that got to be our culture? Like, damn.
That's what people associate with.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, so because a lot of times people criticize, oh, Drake, he grew up with money and da-da-da. He doesn't know the struggle. Okay, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Snoop kids don't know the struggle. Are they not black? I'm pretty sure that Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys.
Dad is African American. Like, maybe if his dad was a Canadian black, he would have learned more Canadian black culture. But it seemed like he wanted to come and get connected to a side that he wasn't privy to when he was younger. Is that not fair to him?
Yeah, which he openly talked about it in his music. Hey, I wanted to go down and be in Memphis with your guy, these niggas wearing furs. I wanted to be a part of that. Like, he wanted to go on safari, and he became a rapper and got to do the shit.
Why you say safari?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question, Third, because they said Diddy's sons. I've heard that plenty of times here and there, like, that they're not really black, and typically it was associated with them not struggling. I mean, it happens to my kids. Like,
Will and Jada's kids.
They're never really saying it. Yeah, they say that they say that they're not black a lot of times here in Los Angeles. These kids that's come from these rich backgrounds.
We got one last person on stage. On the 9. Welcome to the.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I wanted to say
conversation.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that I ain't want to take away from Drake, from him being the color that he is, but at the same time, I feel like this is more strategic than most people may even look at it, because he has the dream of being more like Michael, and Michael went through the same allegations, whether it's black or white or whatever the case may be. And within our family, on the Jackson side of the family, we have Italians and we have French. When Janet Jackson tapped into the French side in her music, she wanted to embrace the culture of the French, the same way as Jermaine Jackson wanted to embrace the Italian side of the family. So, like, he's embracing it, he's using it as his benefit, and it's helping him in a way to where it's really catapulting him to the status of what he always envisioned, was to be as great as Michael. So, whether people may feel he's not black or not, he's melanated, you know, and he's using it to his advantage to reach out the goal on being as big as Michael. That's what I wanted to add to it.
Thank you. Where you calling from, bro?
Oh, I'm in Atlanta.
A-Town.
Yeah, A-Town. I already know.
Thank you for that.
Third, they said Big Sean wasn't black enough when he first came out in Detroit.
I know when he did that PSA. When he did that PSA video, they was like, because that wasn't it like anti-drugs or guns or something like that, right?
Yeah, when he first started, they were like, "Oh, he don't represent," because the way he was rapping, it wasn't relative to what you and Gary was saying. He didn't go to prison, like he didn't get shot a few times. So when he started rapping about education, and he seemed to be more conscious. I mean, think about that. Look how our community talk about Common and a lot of other rappers. I was teasing people yesterday. I said, so now all of you Negroes that commit all of these crimes, you're such a street hood nigga, get in trouble all the time. You're Kendrick fans. Kendrick don't rap for you guys. Kendrick rap for the people that don't want to get in trouble. Kendrick rap for the people that want to put the guns down. Kendrick rap for the blacks that actually want to exercise conflict resolution. Kendrick rap for the blacks that has independent thought. I said, but now you guys are Kendrick fans. Okay, got it. I'm going on.
Because he come at somebody.
I want to say one more thing, Isaac, because I introduced myself. I'm Caprio Jackson. I changed my name to On the Nine, so probably for those that don't know, but yeah.
What's going on, Cap?
What's up, Caprio?
Big Cap.
What's happening?
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you a follow. All right, so it's 11:02. Isaac, are we doing it?
Yeah, no. I mean, I want to thank everybody for joining the conversation. I think that Chuck Creekmore wants to have an audio room about the Drake Kendrick situation here on the app today. And I know that my son wanted to have that conversation. He wanted to join the conversation I was having with Wes Bellamy yesterday, but he couldn't remember his Fanbase password, and we had to give him his password. But anyway, so there'll be more conversations about that today, especially after this last record that the Hard Part 6 that Drake dropped this morning, and then that's one conversation. But then I also want to, again, I still want to have the conversation that I've seen this rap beef got real. And honestly, like I just say, I saw this rap beef turn into something that went a little bit past beef and kind of got into the lane of like fanaticism, where people were calling Drake like Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein, and they were trying to. I mean, it's just like it got a little out of control, and I'm like, and then it became this mob mentality, and then people joined in doing it, and
people enjoy being mean.
No, yeah, it's like I've never seen people like have blood on their teeth to try to see somebody go down.
Okay, can I interrupt you for 1 second, bro? Because when we were having that conversation, like a week or two ago with J. Cole, like when he walked the whole thing back, and he was like, "Oh, my niggas they want blood," and he was just like, "I don't really want to be a part of that." How does that look now? That shit look great now. Like, so like,
I think it was a smart decision, because I think J. Cole probably saw how Carrie, I have people attacking me, and again, I'm not saying that it isn't. This is something that I'll say, quickly, and I learned this probably in the last 4 or 5 days. No matter what you do, someone is going to hate you. Like, it does not matter. Like, it doesn't, your opinion will create a visceral reaction in people that attack you. And the funny thing about it is, the mob always thinks they're right because they're the loudest. People the comment sections doesn't agree with you, because people that agree with me don't have to write a 10-page fucking comment. They just hit the like button, or they just read it and keep scrolling like, yep. But people that disagree, they have to voice their opinion, which is why conflict is so important, which is why a lot of times I ask the questions the way that I ask them, because I know that it's going to create conflict, right? But it's but the results of that conflict are like people that just say some of the meanest things. I'm like, I haven't disrespected. Oh my God. he's not coming to Fanbase. I'm like, damn, like, where is this coming from? Like,
so yeah, take a double shot. It's like, how dare you go out and create something and have an opinion?
Right. I like create because I've been. I think it leans into the. I think people feel that I'm not impartial, but I'm not. It's not that I'm not impartial. I'm just viewing it from the lens as a bystander to the conversation of saying I saw no direct diss. No one put it like this. And let's be fair. And Iran, you'll probably I want to ask people in the room. No one saw a direct diss about Kendrick at all in first person shooter. No one listened to that record and said, "Ooh, Drake dissed Kendrick." Like no person said that. Nobody, right? So for me, I go from I know the superpowers can always have tension. There's always going to be tension between the United States and Russia and North Korea and XYZ, right? But the first shot of aggression came from the record from Metro Boomin, Future, and Kendrick, right? That was the first shot, the Like That record, right? So I start everything from there. So I'm saying Drake is minding his black ass business. And he went on tour with J. Cole, and all of a sudden, Kendrick,
you mean direct shot, correct? Like direct.
Yeah, that was a direct shot.
Yeah, that's correct. I agree.
Like that was a direct, like a big fuck the big three. It's just big me. Okay, well then shit. All right, cool. Like there's the shot. All right, cool. It's a bet. All right, great. This is where we at. So when I look at that, that's why I'm looking at like, well, damn. Okay, cool. So Drake responds, and everybody's saying Drake. This whole thing seems like I'm biased towards Drake, but I'm like, I'm a person that comes from causality. If they never put like this, and this is the best way to solve it because I know we're a little over time, but my point is saying this is that if they never release like that, if that record never comes out, it's only a beat between Metro, Future, and the other people that don't like Drake. Kendrick is not part of it, right? And we're not having this discussion. This beef does not happen. So for that being said, that is my point. Is that
they've been sneak dissing each other for years.
For years.
Yeah, to be fair, you're just saying direct. You just saying direct.
Yeah, I'm saying the first real okay, cool. I mean, United States and Russia sneak diss each other all the time, but ain't nobody shot some shit.
Yeah, you don't have to respond to a sneak diss. So I get what you're saying, but when someone is direct, especially in hip hop, you have to respond. So Drake had to respond.
Yeah, we got it. Okay, you shot some missiles. I gotta fucking retaliate, and here we are. So that's the only reason why it seems like that I'm Drake biased, because the aggression came from Kendrick, and so therefore it just spiraled out of control. And so this social media, I want to have a room about how these social media beasts got carried away, because I saw people people that I thought I respected saying, "Oh, it doesn't matter if what Kendrick said is true or not." Huh?
Yeah, that's weird.
So you can just make us. Well, then anybody can get it. I can get in a rap beef tomorrow and call, man. Let's start some rap beefs today. Let's just make up shit about rappers. Just start calling people gay, broke, on
incestual.
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just have a rap battle. Like what? If there's no factual basis in what you're talking about, that's the part about the rap battle is it's also a test of skill, but it's also a character test. And I saw a lot of people's characters.
That's the world we live in now, Third. Because think about it. Back in the day, this is why some of those systems work. Some of them worked and some of them didn't. It wasn't all 100% bad, because you had to go through a process to be an A&R or call yourself an A&R. You had to go through a process to call yourself a record exec. Now you have the internet. You have a social media page. You go viral. You have a voice. And you can utilize that voice to say anything. I literally listen to people talk about patents. I would have heard that a guy... He said, patents is the largest protection on your idea above trademarks and copyright. Those three don't even work that way. You can have one idea and have all three on one idea, and they protect you in different ways. So we live in a world now, because of the dissemination of the internet, you can literally have a voice. And think of social audio showed you that. You literally have people that spend years building a reputation and making money. And now that a random person can get on stage with them and talk to them, we've seen it on Clubhouse, then they can just say anything to them. So that's where we are in society. So people don't care about that stuff that's true. They care about if it's viral.
It gave me a foreshadowing of what to expect as Fanbase becomes more successful.
Oh, you just figured that out? You could have just called me. We could have talked about that.
No. I knew it. But I said one day.
They come up in your hair top, third.
I'm gonna be the villain, right? I know. That's what
you know what I do, third? I put myself in the fire. It's called the cascade bias. So I'll just say something wild to the person, so they cannot like me, because I know it's going to happen anyhow. It's all marketing, man. That's what Drake is really, really good at. He's really, really good at internet marketing. Yeah, third, you're not getting out of this clean.
No, not at all. No way, shape, or form. If people are like, don't say that, I'm like, nah, dog. If people are already saying, oh, shut the fuck up, you pussy, and I'm like, well, damn, I can't even do nothing. Like, yeah. Like,
oh, but you know what, third? You know what? See, I'm glad you said that before we close. See, that's the thing. I know how the black community want me to talk to them, because I went through it growing up. You be in the barbershop, I can literally say, it's like, yeah, man, I think Pac is not better than Biggie. It's not. I disagree with you, Durant. It's like, man, you a dumbass nigga. It's like, oh, here we go. But I know they don't mean any malice. I don't take it personally. It's just I know how to do it better. So when I do it, then I'm the bad guy. I know they don't mean any malice. That's just how we grew up talking.
Some people mean malice. Like,
yeah, that's a different dynamic. I'm just talking about the people I grew up with.
Kendrick means malice.
Yeah, Kendrick means malice.
When they were talking about the whole, this is a funny story before we go. When they were talking about the whole thing with Drake and Kendrick, and they were calling Drake like a pedophile or whatever, XYZ. This dude literally said, I said something like, how can Drake be whatever, XYZ, and be a pedophile? And somebody put the same way Isaac Hayes can do a record with R. Kelly. And I was like,
that's wild.
And I said, wait a minute. I said, Isaac Hayes never did a record with R. Kelly. Then, hold up. So then the person pulls a Discogs screenshot of the A side and B side of Bad Man, which it was Bad Man, and the theme from Shaft was on the B side. So R. Kelly had Bad Man, then the theme from Shaft was on the B side, right? And they said that's the record. Like, oh, they did a record together, and I'm like, no. And then the other person said, then people started saying, look, this boy don't even know his dad's own catalog. It just started spiraling. It just the live. I was like, damn, like, guys, like, it was the Shaft soundtrack that was on the Face Ghetto Vision. Bad Man was a single. XYZ was there, but it just spiraled. And I'm saying that's the danger of ignorance. That's where we live. A lawyer told me that her clients, people would just come in and attempt to sue their clients so that they can settle. They'll say, listen, if you don't pay me, they do this a lot in LA. So for anybody that's considering moving here and getting into show business, be ready for this. If you don't pay me $100,000, my client is going to say your client touched her inappropriately. And lawyers literally have a private budget to pay off people so that they won't actually have to go through litigation with them. That's a real big thing. It's under the radar here in LA because they don't want it to become popular, because then more people can learn about doing it. Yeah, it's a shake. Y'all can see this. That's a good reference for it. They literally have that here in LA. So yeah, you better get ready for it. My motto is this. You say, listen, if you say shut up to me, I'm saying your fucking family are fuck offs. Your whole bloodline are monkeys. Like, I'm going all the way dirty if you say shut up to me. Because I know that's it. If you want to play that game, let's play it. Because you think about it this way, third. I can literally argue with a person without utilizing expletives because I was trained to do so. But if you want to play that game, or you want me to act like we did in the hood, cool. And then they start crying. That's what we live in, third. You better lean in because it's coming for you, boy. I gotta tell you. Well,
I'll be here to laugh with you. I know it's gonna be funny.
No, because I won't even. Cause at that stage, y'all won't even see me on here anymore. I'll be like, damn, I ain't gonna even come on the app.
Third disappear.
Yeah. I'll be long not in audio rooms no more, because I'm telling you right now when he come. But I appreciate everybody joining the conversation. I'm pretty sure Nick will be back next week. Join the camp. Follow Nick Love. If you get a chance, you search Nick Love. And join the Monday morning marketing meeting camp to be part of these rooms every Monday from 10 to 11 on Fanbase. And we'll see you next week.
Yes, indeed.
All right, everybody.
Be down there, Johan, Belinda. We'll get you next time.
All right, bet. Later, everybody.
Peace out.